She came in wearing midnight silence, leather boots and a storm in her stare. Every man in that bar went quiet, like the devil herself just walked in there. She's got whiskey eyes, dark and mean, cuts right to your soul where the blood can't be seen. Lord, I know that look, it ain't wise, but I'm drowning deep in those whiskey eyes. Her perfume mixed with smoke and danger, steel guitar cried a lonesome hymn. She ain't no friend, she's a shadowed stranger, but I'd sell my soul just to dance with sin. She's got whiskey eyes, dark and mean, cuts right to your soul where the blood can't be seen. Lord, I know that look, it ain't wise, but I'm drowning deep in those whiskey eyes. She don't stay, she just lingers like the burn on a cigarette draw. You can hold her with your fingers, but she'll slip through before the night is gone. She's got whiskey eyes, dark and mean, cuts right to your soul where the blood can't be seen. Lord, I know that look, it ain't wise, but I'll die a fool for those whiskey eyes. I'll die a fool for those whiskey eyes.
All right, welcome into Live and Unscripted number 4, featuring Toby Zig, singer, songwriter, fiddler. Interesting stuff here on Live and Unscripted this week. Only episode number 4, stream number 2206. Welcome in, ladies and gents. We are so stoked to have Toby Zig with us here this evening. 2 shows every week. Here we go. Let's go chat with Toby about the song you just heard, Whiskey Eyes, and much, much, much more happening with him. Toby, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, dude. Thank you so much for doing this, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
So, I don't remember, because I've slept since then, but I don't remember how I got turned on to you, but I know that somebody had told me about your song Whiskey Eyes, and I just love the song, and as you know, we do a song of the day every single day, and I heard your song, and I was like, okay, well, this is obviously got to be song of the day, and so that's kind of how you and I hooked up, is by me doing that with the song, but man, this is your first tune, isn't it?
No, this is Whiskey Eyes is number 4.
Okay.
But it's all been within the last year that I've started putting stuff out.
And I find that interesting because you're a fiddle player, and so you're
Yes.
an auxiliary piece technically, right? So
Yes.
I mean, I guess first of all, obviously fiddle is your instrument. How did that happen as a kid? I imagine that happened early.
Well, yeah, I started playing in fourth grade, like they
Yeah.
do in elementary school. Picked an instrument, and I was between violin and saxophone. And only reason I started with violin was because my mom still had her old one from when she was playing in school.
Okay.
So started with that, and as I continued on, started playing more and more. Ended up started in college for violin performance, um, but then yeah, school wasn't exactly for me. I'm sure I could have probably done it had I applied myself,
Yeah.
as my parents would might say, but
Yeah.
I didn't. So I went to work and then started playing bar gigs, playing country, and took off from there.
Man, I think an interesting uh, difference, obviously, is the difference between a violin and a fiddle. And most people don't know the difference. Can you explain it?
Sure. I mean, technically speaking, there's no difference other than how you play it,
Yep.
except in my case, I just recently dropped the rattle from a rattlesnake inside of the one I use for fiddling. So I would say now that that is the difference between my violins and my fiddle.
So it's a rattle fiddle.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. You just call it the rattler, man. Just the rattler
I like
with
that.
a D. They're like two D's, right? Like
I like
rattler.
that.
Yeah, I like it. Does that create a different sound? I imagine it does, right?
Honestly, not really. It's so small, you can't hear it much. I mean, unless you're real up close to it and you shake the fiddle next to your ear, you're not gonna hear it.
Yeah, it's more percussion, right?
Exactly.
So when does the idea hit you to step out front and kind of be the guy in the band, the guy that the name is, the name is yours and all of that, and the voice and all that?
So, uh, I'd always had the dream of, having my own Charlie Daniels thing, but for me, what solidified it was when someone told me I couldn't make it to do it. That really kind of pushed me into overdrive, and so we're full steam ahead on that.
So it was just a challenge, essentially.
Pretty much. I never really like I'd always had the dream, never really considered that it was a true possibility to do. But then once I was, told I wouldn't be able to or I wouldn't make it, I decided, well, you know what? Let's give it a stab. Let's see how things go. And I'm still in the infancy stage of
Sure.
it, getting everything together. But as things are falling together, they're falling together well. I 2 days ago I agreed to play a festival for a radio station up by me in Pennsylvania. So little by little, things are making moves and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, congratulations on that. I need to preempt my next question with saying that I love your voice. I just want
Well,
you to
thank you.
know that. Whiskey Eyes is so dope, so haunting. I love what you do with your voice and kind of the layers of the multiple voices. It's not quite harmony all the time, right? I don't think it's meant to
Right.
be harmony. I think it's meant to be like same but different. Correct me if
That's
I'm wrong.
exactly what I did. I thought about putting harmonies in there, but it felt like it would have been a little too busy.
Sure.
So instead, I just recorded the same thing an octave lower, just to give it a little more emphasis, but not too much to
Kind of like a resonance,
overcrowd it.
right? Kind of like a
Yeah,
resonance, right? And I think it just makes it more haunting. It feels like an echo, and it feels like you're gonna get goosebumps and stuff like that. The question I really want to ask you though is because you started on fiddle so early. I imagine, obviously, you probably became more prolific on the fiddle than you would with your vocals. So now that you've decided to sing and be part, the voice behind the band. Um, are you struggling with a catch up thing, right? Like where you're maybe internally not real confident about the vocals because you're so good at the fiddle. You know what I mean?
I would have 3 years ago. I would have said yes. However, as I'm going forward, uh, it's occurring to me, and I have prior experience with singing. I've never been trained in singing, but I sang in church choir for many years, and as I said, playing gigs around my local area. Uh, I got more comfortable being in front of a crowd. Uh, so up until about 3 years ago, I would have said yes. It would have been a little bit more daunting. Now some of the stages I've been on, and even if I'm, just being the auxiliary guy, just being on those stages in front of those crowds, that's really kind of squashed any worries or fears of catch up, because I know my voice can handle it, and I know how to be on a stage.
Yeah. So no training with your voice. So as you're growing within your vocals, how do you know? Like, how do you differentiate what sounds good and what doesn't? Is it just again a resonance thing? I imagine, right?
It's pretty much just ear,
Yeah.
what I think sounds good, and if something sounds okay and could tweak a little bit, then I'll try some different adjustments and stick with what
And
works.
I ask that because we all hate the sound of our own voice.
Absolutely.
You know what I
I
mean?
still hate recordings of my voice, but
Sure.
I'm becoming numb to that.
Yeah, it's hard though, right? Like, I think the only way you become numb to it is if you hear it all the time. Like with me, I'm always editing this show, right? Like, so,
Right.
and even still, after 10 years, I'm still like, man, I wish I hadn't said that, or stuff like that, man. I love what's happening for you. Where are you from originally?
So currently, originally from Northern Maryland, about 5 minutes from the Pennsylvania line.
Okay. So not south, not exactly north. It's kind of in the middle there. So how are you getting influenced by fiddle? Is it just because your mom had one?
That was the only reason I started on fiddle. Uh, as for influences, that's just been I've always said my favorite era of music to listen to, even growing up, was 50s through 90s country. I liked some of the modern stuff, but more so, I always stuck to Johnny Cash and George Jones and those guys. And then as I was coming up, probably about 10th grade, the violin teacher I had at the time, Dennis Herzog, I'd have an hour lesson, and he would take 30 minutes of it to work on my symphony stuff with me, or my school music. And then for the second half, he started taking music off the stand, and he would grab his fiddle, play something, and tell me, play it back.
Wow.
And when I first started doing that, I had no idea what I was getting into. I had never tried to play by ear. Everything was just sheet music, sheet music, sheet music. But as we started going on doing that more and more, he started to help me develop my ear and how to, you know, take a lead in songs, and what fits, what doesn't, what can you use, what can't you use, and all of that, uh, all of those different tweaks you can make to the music. That's when I really started to get into, going to bluegrass jams and sitting down and just listening and playing something. And as more I did that, the better and better that got.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm very impressed about with fiddle players, mandolin players, steel players. I married a steel player's daughter, so one of the things I've always been impressed is how you guys can just sit in with a band and know when to play something, what to play, how to make it sound tasteful. You could sit in with a band you've never been with before, and it feels so seamless. And so you're learning that from those kind of playback kind of things. I'll play it, you play it, you play it, I'll play it kind of things. Is that where you guys are learning that kind of stuff?
I can't speak for anyone else. That's how I learned how to do it. That was where I learned to develop my ear to be able to hear, where is the chord structure going? Where is it leading to, that I could fill in and add some? And I mean, when I first started, I obviously overplayed
Sure.
way too much in
Yeah.
music. But at the further I got, the more I learned to sit back, listen, let the other instruments take charge, and then when there was an appropriate gap, fill in. And as you were saying, with us sitting in, I was told a little bit ago that fiddle players or auxiliary players are nothing more than an icing on a cake, which isn't necessary, which is very true. But icing tends to make things a lot better.
Man, I would say it
So
can be very true, but it's not necessarily always true, right? Because, like, there are bands where literally the fiddle is the lead guitar, like that is the lead
right,
guitar. So the solo guitar is the solo fiddle, and those bands are just as awesome as a good guitar player, right? Like, I mean,
absolutely
the obvious example is Charlie Daniels, but I mean, there's a ton of them out there, and if you're not looking for them, then that's your fault. But um,
right.
what you're saying can be true, but is not always true. And I asked that question as a segue because now that you are kind of fronting your own band, is the fiddle kind of making more than an auxiliary appearance in the band that you're in now?
So, for full disclosure, I don't quite have my own band yet. We're working on
Okay.
that. Working to get there. Right now, I've got honestly, Whiskey Eyes, there are three guys playing instruments in that. That's it. I've got a good friend of mine, Matty Ryan. He's playing the bass, the drums, the guitar. I'm doing the vocals, and I didn't put fiddle in that one, but I did play organ on it.
I know.
And then a buddy of mine, Jay Henson, out of North Carolina, he plays the steel. So all my music is either two or three musicians, and that's it.
I love it. So are you getting comments about the song not having fiddle in it? Because I noticed that too.
Most people haven't. I've had a couple people say something to me, but most, I don't know if they're not catching it or just change things up a little bit. I like to try and change the sound. I don't want to stay stuck in one aisle. So like all the rest of my song, every single one of them is a little bit different
Yeah.
in a stylistic sense. Now, actually, earlier today, I was in the studio and for the next single, and this will be the first one that's got banjo in it.
Let's go. So there's a strategy here. Then you're really, really logical about the style of each song and how it hits and how it's different from the one before. This is stuff that's on your brain.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not as much the logical one. I write something or a buddy writes something for me. I hear it and I get excited and want to record it. It's my buddy who's being my manager and my parents and other industry folk that are kind of like, hey, why don't you think about trying to make sure you're changing things up? And that really, I look like I know what I'm doing. I really don't. This is the product of a lot of people in my corner who are standing there and kind of helping guide, and people who have been where I am, even if they're only a step or two further, really showing me, how they got to where they are, and then I can extrapolate from there.
And so you're in the Maryland, Pennsylvania area and playing country music and other styles of country as well. What's the trajectory look like for you as far as going forward? Is it to stay in that area? Is it dabbling in Nashville? Like, what's the strategy there for the career?
Right now, right now I've got a good base here. I play with a lot of great bands here, got a good following. Eventually, I think we'd like to try and start spreading out little by little. So maybe, a couple 100 miles northeast, northwest, whichever way, start spreading out more and more like that. If at some point, well, not if, when at some point it becomes time to move closer to Nashville, then I'll look at doing that. I don't want to be directly in Nashville. I'd like to be within a couple hour drive, because right now I'm sitting at about 11 and a half hour drive.
Yeah. That's called a weekend warrior, man, and that's what a lot of folks are doing, man, and it's working for everybody too. Guys, the new song is called Whiskey Eyes. We did play it a little bit earlier. This is a very unscripted show, so I don't know where we're going most of the time on this show. It's almost like a car with an AI driver, to be fair. But I think what we're going to do with Toby real quick is we're going to have him choose a number between 1 and 7. So 1 and 7, and you're basically choosing the segment that I'm going to play with you. So choose a number.
All right, let's go with the number 5.
The number 5. Who are your top 5 favorite? Let's say top 5 favorite songs where the fiddle is prominently played.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Well, I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say number 1 was "Devil Went Down to Georgia."
Sure.
Number 2, I'd have to say "Orange Blossom Special." Let's see. It is, I can't remember the band name, but it's a Long Hot Summer Day. Is that Turnpike Troubadours?
I
I
think
think it's
so.
Turnpike Troubadours.
Let's find out. I'm pretty sure
That's got a great,
it is. Yep.
great fiddle intro. All right, next one. Can't remember the band again. I believe it's called "In My Arms." I can hum and play the fiddle line. Can't remember what the actual name of the song is. I think it's "In My Arms."
Okay.
Yeah.
Randy
I think it's "In
Rogers.
My Arms." Yeah, Randy Rogers. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I know people are divided on this one, but I thoroughly enjoy playing it, which would be "Callin' Baton Rouge."
I love that. Hell yeah, dude. That's not what I would have thought, but yeah, that's a good answer. Again, guys, the single is "Whiskey Eyes" by Toby Zig. Toby, if people are just hearing about you, where would you send them to follow along with everything you got going on, man?
I would say, Instagram, Facebook. I do have a TikTok, but even though I'm 25, internally I'm 80, so I'm not really great at keeping that up to date.
Oh, good.
But Instagram, Facebook, I keep pretty active. I do have a website, tobyzig.com. You can check out, photos and upcoming shows, things of that nature on there.
Very cool. So it's tobyzig.com. We'll make sure there's a link in the description for that. Toby, I appreciate your time, man. Thanks for coming on the live and unscripted show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. You have a good rest of your night, dude.
You as well.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Man, I love this show so freaking much. Just getting to meet new folks from all over the world. Where is my thing? There it is. And guys, who would have ever thought that I would be introduced to a fiddle player from Maryland / Pennsylvania? You just never know in this wide world of music who you're going to run into. I highly, highly suggest you add Whiskey Eyes to your playlist. It's a dope song, as you could hear earlier in the episode. This was episode 4 of Live and Unscripted with Boston Chris. What a fun show. What a fun segment. And it was so much fun that we're going to do it again in 40 minutes with a new guest for episode number 5. And that is Canton Teen of Canton Teen and the Cherry Pickers is coming to chat about his brand new single, which just came out, New Music Tonight. And I hope you guys will hang out for the next 40 minutes or so. And we'll be back live about 6 p.m. Central. So y'all don't